In this video, we'll see about the arguments of user-defined functions as well as the lambda function. First, we'll see about the parameters or arguments. Those are variables or values passed to a function as input. In general, there are two types of parameters. One is formal parameters, the other one is the actual parameter. Formal parameters are parameters given in the function definition, whereas actual parameters are parameters given in the function call. As you can see in the example, in the function definition section, we have two arguments which are a and b, and that are those are called the formal arguments. And in the function call, we have two values. These are the values that are passed to the function definition, and here a will be assigned 2, b will be assigned 3, and so here 2 and 3 are called the actual arguments or parameters. Next, we will see about the different types of arguments that are available in Python. First is record arguments, otherwise called positional arguments. Second is the keyword arguments. Third, default arguments. The fourth one is variable length arguments. We see each of them in detail. First is positional arguments. As I said before, it is otherwise called record arguments. It is the most straightforward way to pass arguments to a function. It is a comma separated list of parameters. They are not given as key value pairs. Okay, only the parameters are given separated by comma inside the parenthesis in the function definition. The order and number of the arguments in the function call, that is actual arguments, order and number, should match the order and number of parameters in the function definition, that is the formal parameters. That is, the order and number of actual and formal parameters should be the same. We'll see an example for this. This is a function for adding two numbers, and a function is defined here as with the name add1. It has two parameters, which means it expects two values or arguments. And this is the body of the function, and that is the expression. There are no statements inside the function. We use here only return statement and the expression. Okay, and this value will be returned to the function call. And here at the function call, we have two parameters passed to this function definition. That is, whenever the program encounters a function call, this program control will be transferred to this position. That is, it will come to the position def. Okay, and the statements will be executed, and when it if it has a return statement, the value returned, that is after calculating this a plus b, will be returned to this variable c. Okay, and here a and b expects two values or arguments, and also the function call also provides two values or arguments to the function. So that is record arguments or positional arguments. Here the order and number of arguments should be the same. In the next slide we'll see if we don't give the record number of arguments, what happens. If the number of parameters in the function call and function definition does not match, then it displays error. Okay, as you can see in this example, in the function definition, the function expects two parameters, two values, but at the function call, I provide only one value. Here it has been commented that is only one argument is given, so that generates the error. Okay, you can see the error displayed here. It shows type error, add one missing, that is the function name, missing one record positional argument b. this value 3 will be assigned only to A. So there is no value to be assigned to B. So that shows the error. Next type of argument is keyword argument. When values are passed to a function as key value pair, then such parameters are called keyword arguments or keyword parameters. It allows to skip arguments or place them out of order because the interpreter can use these keywords to match the values with parameters in the function definition. It is not like record arguments where we need to give all the arguments. Here, since we use key value pair, you can place them out of order. Okay, and that is what is given in this example. Here, instead of giving simply 5 and 3, I have used the key here as the parameter itself, b equal to 5 and a equal to 3. So even if I change the order of the arguments, it doesn't matter, it is correctly assigned. As you can see, when printed, the output displays a as 3 and b as 5, and the calculated result returned by return a plus b is assigned to C, and you can see the result displayed as 8. Okay. The next type of argument is default arguments. In this, arguments can be assigned a default value. These default values indicate that the function argument will take that value if no argument values passed during function call. And the default value is assigned by using assignment operator, that is equal to. See example. Here we have 3 parameters, name, age and country, where country has been assigned a default value. So we have here 2 function calls. In the first function call, the third parameter is not given any value. Value of third argument is not given in the function. Okay, so in this case, in the first function call, what is done is, since country is not given any value in the function definition, we have assigned it a default value. So when it prints the details, it will print the name as Sheila, age as 19, and countries, though it has not been given by the function call, it will be printed as India, since we have the default value for country. Whereas in the function call 2, all the 3 parameters are given values. In that case, instead of printing the default value India, it will be printing the given value, that is Japan. You can see this in the example. Next is about the variable length arguments. These type of arguments can have 0 or more values, and they are not named in the function definition, unlike record and default arguments. The syntax for using such a variable length arguments is def function name. Within brackets, we give the parameters. Here we can have 2 types of parameters. One is the formal parameters, the normal parameters, and the other one is the var arguments, that is the it is preceded by a asterisk, which indicates that it is a parameter that can have multiple values. Okay, and the remaining are the same, that is function body. Following the function header, we have the function body, and return statement is optional. As we saw in this previous example, in this function definition, we haven't used return statement, but still the function works. So return is optional, and expression is also optional. You can simply give return without any expression. And asterisk here is placed before the variable name that holds multiple values. And since the multiple arguments passed to the function are tuples, this varargs is a tuple, which means it can have multiple values. So we can access them each value in the tuple can be accessed using for loop. We'll see example for this. Dispinfo is the function we are using here. I have used both arguments, that is formal as well as the variable length arguments, and the value of n, that is the normal formal parameter, is directly printed like this, whereas the values in represented by the var n, which is a tuple, is accessed using a for loop for I in var n. So all the values, multiple values in this var n will be taken one by one and printed. Here I have used two function calls. In the first function call, there is only a value for n. There is no variable length argument used, parameter passed. The variable length parameter can be 0 also. Okay. As I mentioned in this, these type of arguments can have 0 or more values. Okay. So it can be empty also, where n can be empty. In the first function call, it is empty. Whereas in the second function call, we have the value for n as well as two values for the var n. Okay. And that is each value of this var n is accessed using the for loop. And you can see in the output the first function calls output as well as the second function calls output displayed. And that's all about the arguments in Python. Next we'll see about the lambda function. It is a small anonymous function. Anonymous here means it refers to a function declared with no name. A lambda function can take any number of arguments but can have only one expression. So you see in the syntax, lambda followed by the arguments, multiple arguments can be given here. Following it is the colon and the expression. The only expression should be given here. In the example, you can see lambda a comma b. Those are the arguments. The number of arguments can be multiple. Okay, following it is a colon and give the expression. And this, after calculating, the value will be assigned to this identifier. Okay, and this identifier will be used for passing values to this lambda function and also to print its result. Okay, so the identifier is used here in print for function call. You can also give it separately, or you can give it directly in the print. Sum of 10 comma 20, those are the values passed to this lambda, and 10 will be assigned to A, 20 will be assigned to B, and it will do the calculation and will return the value to this point, and that's the print. First print will print the result as 30 and the second print will print the result as 40. So that is what is given in this box also. Lambda function returns an object which is assigned to the identifier example sum, and this identifier is used for function call. And that's all about the lambda function and arguments in Python.